Principality of Monaco affirms stronger ties with new consulate office. Malaysia and Thailand set to advance border development cooperation. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight. I'm Jessica Lee. Bilateral ties between Malaysia and the Principality of Monaco will be strengthened with the opening of the new Monaco Honorary Consulate Office in Kuala Lumpur. Now, Prince Albert II of Monaco, who is presently in Malaysia for his first ever state visit from the 26th to the 29th of November, underscored the importance of this diplomatic step and expressed optimism for the further growth of the two countries' relationship. Now, Prince Albert II, in his opening remarks at the event, conveyed his hopes for the strengthening of diplomatic ties initiated over 13 years ago, emphasizing that the consulate's establishment demonstrates Monaco's commitment to the bonds of friendship between the two nations. Designed to foster political and economic ties, the newly furnished consulate aims to facilitate business connections, investment opportunities and support trade missions and delegations between the Principality of Monaco and Malaysia. The newly appointed consul of the Principality, Datuk Sri Omar Narish Mohan, emphasized Monaco's rich tradition and culture, inviting Malaysians to explore the diverse offerings of the Principality. Situated on the Mediterranean coast, Monaco is a sovereign and independent state famed for the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, earlier, the special aircraft carrying Prince Albert II and his delegation, including Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of the Principality of Monaco, Isabel Barrow Amadei, and senior officials from the Principality and business community landed at the Bunga Raya complex of the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, at 11 a.m. Human Resources Minister V. Sivakumar and Malaysian Ambassador to France, Dato' Muhammad Zamruni Khalid, were on hand to receive Prince Albert II and his delegation. Tomorrow, the Prince is scheduled to attend a state welcoming ceremony and has an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah at Istana Negara. Prince Albert II is also scheduled to attend the Monaco Economic Forum 2023 in Kuala Lumpur. Before leaving home on Wednesday, the Prince is scheduled to visit the Malayan Tiger Conservation Centre and the Kuala Gandah National Elephant Conservation Centre in Pahang. According to a statement by Wisma Putra, the visit by Prince Albert II will provide an excellent opportunity for the Principality of Monaco and Malaysia to further strengthen relations between the two countries. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim is set to meet his Thai counterpart, Seta Tavisin, tomorrow in Sadao Songkhla province with the aim of advancing cooperation for the development of the border area between Malaysia and Thailand. Now, Thailand's Foreign Ministry in a statement said the meeting will primarily focus on expediting the construction of key connectivity projects at the border. Now, the objective is to foster economic activities and improve the overall well-being of the people in the region. Among the discussed connectivity projects are the road alignment between the new Customs, Immigration and Quarantine, or the CIQ facility in Sadao and Bukit Kayu Hitam. Additionally, attention will be given to the construction of the second bridge at Sungai Golok Rantau Panjang as part of the collaborative efforts to enhance cross-border infrastructure. Now, during the meeting, both Prime Ministers will inspect the road alignment linking the new CIQ Sadao in Thailand and the Bukit Kayu Hitam Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security, or the ICQS checkpoint in Malaysia. Now, the forthcoming meeting between Datuk Sri Anwar and Seta Tavisin will involve a restricted session, followed by a luncheon hosted by Seta in honour of Datuk Sri Anwar's visit. Cyril Azhar Umar's claims of bribery for silence over the murder of Altan Tuya Sharibu cannot be investigated until he applies to have his mandatory death sentence reviewed. Now, Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said this in response to former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak's call for the government to facilitate Sirul Azhar's extradition.
Dalam kes Sirul, beliau kalau nak memanfaatkan ruang ini, memasuki semakan itu harus dibuat oleh peguam beliau. Jadi itu prosesnya. Dan sehingga itu berlaku, kerajaan beranggapan bahawa gesaan ataupun cadangan Datuk Najib itu sebagai satu cadangan yang kerajaan akan ikuti perkembangannya sebab keputusannya terletak kepada Sirul sendiri.
He said this when met by reporters today. In an exclusive interview with Al Jazeera on Friday, Sirul Azhar said he was told to produce a video that Datuk Sri Najib had no involvement in the murder. He also claimed that he received some money from unnamed sources to keep his mouth shut on the murder and to protect Datuk Sri Najib. In response, Datuk Sri Najib's legal team issued a statement denying such allegations and urged the former police officer to disclose any information he might have regarding the purported mastermind. The Defence Ministry will look into the need to increase security personnel or equipment to tighten control at the border areas, thus curbing transnational smuggling syndicates. Now, Minister Datuk Sri Mohamad Hassan said the government, through the 2024 budget that was announced recently, had allocated huge funds to strengthen border control.
Dan banyak juga aset-aset yang diperlukan, dan yang paling penting sekali ialah untuk kita menaik taraf pos-pos kawalan di sempadan kita sepanjang Malaysia, Thailand dan juga Malaysia dengan Indonesia di Kalimantan. Ini sedang dilakukan dan berperingkat-peringkat, dan kita berharap supaya kawalan sempadan ini akan dapat, kalau tak dapat menghapuskan ataupun mengurangkan dengan banyaknya kerugian yang dialami oleh negara.
He said this to reporters after opening a health carnival and Madani agro sales in Seremban today. He said this in response to a proposal by the Thai government to build an electric fence equipped with CCTV in the area bordering Malaysia to curb smuggling. Describing the proposed move as also benefiting Malaysia, Datuk Sri Mohamad said it would also curb cross-border crime, especially smuggling, which caused billions of ringgit in losses to Malaysia. Datuk Sri Mohamad, who is also Rembau Member of Parliament, said the ministry was in the procurement process to use drones and other security assets to ensure more effective control of the country's borders. The proposal to expand the model forest plantation project in the Sabal Forest Reserve in Simunjan, Sarawak will be implemented under the 13th Malaysia Plan, or 13MP. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof, who is also the Minister of Plantation and Commodities, said the ministry fully supports the project to empower the forest plantation sector by providing forestry research centres and related infrastructure facilities. The project is expected to expand the function and scope of the existing forest plantation model in the area, which includes establishing and developing research centres and research planting sites, improving existing infrastructure as well as the acquisition of nursery facilities. When speaking at the 2023 Sarawak Zone Commodity Track Programme at the Sabal Forest Reserve today, Datuk Sri Fadillah said the Peninsula furniture industry players are also interested in expanding their business to Sarawak, as it has a sufficient supply of raw materials and actively carries out reforestation. According to Datuk Sri Fadillah, the Sarawak government has planted nearly 30 million trees to date, including those planted by the forest plantation industry. Now, a massive flash flood caused by continuous heavy rain last night has caused the old trunk road from Genting Sempah to Jandabaik to be temporarily closed. Now, in the 9 p.m. incident, saw mud and debris gushing down from the hill towards the lower section of Bukit Tinggi town, submerging vehicles, farms, shops and houses. The town was almost fully covered in mud, making it more difficult to access for the time being. Now, Bentong Member of Parliament Yang Safura Othman said clean-up works had begun after the floodwaters receded, but would take days due to the severity of the incident. She said only one road remained open and could be used to get to Kampung Janda Baik from the old Bukit Tinggi Road. Yang Safura said she also had an emergency meeting with Minister of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, Nick Ahmad, District Officer and other government agencies this morning. At the same time, she said immediate slope and road rehabilitation works, as well as river cleaning and dredging work, would be carried out by JKR and JPS immediately before a long-term rehabilitation plan is rolled out. A total of 187 primary and secondary schools are ready to be activated as temporary relief centres or PPS in Johor to prepare for the floods during the northeast monsoon season, which is expected to last until March 2024. Now, State Education, Information and Communication Committee Chairman Nurliza Noor said the PPS are located in Pasir Gudang, Johor Bahru, Kulai, Pontian, Mersing, Kota Tinggi, Tangkak, Muar, Kluang, Segamat and Batu Pahat. She said the District Education Office or PPD has briefed the affected schools in an initial preparation phase, including measures to be taken to prevent damages to items such as furniture, desks, chairs and books.
Tetapi persediaan semua telah kita lakukan rapi. Kalau ikut makluman daripada mesyuarat Monsun Timur Laut yang lepas bersama-sama dengan Datuk MB, Negeri Johor kena bersiap sedia dalam bulan 12 hingga bulan 1 ini. Dan pada masa itu sesi persekolahan masih diteruskan di sekolah. Jadi semua memang kena bersedia.
She said this to reporters when met outside the State Legislative Assembly sitting today. Nurliza said the state government would also take proactive measures to prepare for the flood disaster, especially with regards to relocating students sitting for the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia or SPM examination to safe areas via Ops Payung. The Education Ministry and the Board of Examination have also advised that in the event of flooding during the SPM examination, students must be moved to a safe area immediately. Up next in our business segment, businesses optimistic for better conditions in the fourth quarter. Now, the Rural Entrepreneur Carnival, or KUD, at Putrajaya 2023 has surpassed both its sales target of 10 million ringgit and its attendance target of 1 million visitors. Now, according to Deputy Rural and Regional Development Minister Datuk Rubia Wang, the 5-day carnival managed to rake in a total of 12.5 million ringgit in cash transactions, business matches and bookings, with 1.04 million visitors recorded so far. She said this year the ministry was able to gather over 800 entrepreneurs from all over the country, adding that the carnival had achieved its objective of empowering rural communities via entrepreneurial activities. KUD at Putrajaya 2023 will end tonight, having achieved a significant impact not only in terms of sales volume, but also by giving a positive perception that the quality of rural entrepreneurs' products is on par with foreign products. The carnival was attended by all of the ministry's agencies, including Majlis Amanah Rakyat, the Rubber Industry Smallholders Development Authority, the Community Development Department, the Penang Regional Development Authority, and the Southeast Johor Development Authority. Johor State Government's Career Movement Programme is among its proactive steps to ensure graduates' employment opportunities are aligned with local industries. Now, State Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development Cooperatives and Human Resources Committee Chairman Muhammad Hairi Mat Shah said the career programme through Johor Strategic Human Capital Unit is a collaborative initiative involving various agencies, including the Social Security Organisation or Perkeso.
Dengan rakyat Palestin
It is aimed at providing information and aiding job seekers in diverse sectors while assisting employers in recruiting suitable talents efficiently. Muhammad Hairi said during the 2023 Mega Career Movement Program, My Future Jobs Johor, 11,587 job opportunities were offered, with the salaries of up to 14,000 ringgit. It received thousands of applications and 10,916 applicants underwent interviews. Muhammad Hairi said many job seekers were also hired on the spot by employers from sectors such as oil and gas, services, education, manufacturing, construction, hospitality, agriculture, among others. Muhammad Hairi added that 3,659 applicants also received callbacks for a second interview. Now, the program also attracted 33 major employers, with over 70% of the jobs offered pertaining to TVET-related fields, including Malaysia Marine and Heavy Engineering Sdn Bhd, KPJ Johor Specialist Hospital, Post Malaysia, and Malaysia Automotive Robotics and IoT Institute, OMARI. The Department of Statistics Malaysia, or DOSM, said businesses anticipate better conditions in the fourth quarter of 2023, with a positive confidence indicator of 3.2%, up from 0.7% in the third quarter of 2023. Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said services, industrial and construction are the three sectors that anticipate better business conditions in the fourth quarter of 2023. He said the business confidence for services sector remains on a positive trajectory, with the confidence indicator increasing to plus 6.3% as against plus 6.1% in the last quarter. The industry sector, he said, continues to be optimistic about business performance, with a confidence indicator of plus 4% for the corresponding quarter as compared to plus 1.3% in the third quarter of 2023. Simultaneously, sentiments within construction sector upturned to a positive trajectory for the first time since the first quarter of 2018 by posting plus 1.7% as against negative 26.9% in the third quarter of 2023. Now, looking ahead, Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said the business outlook for the period of October 2023 until March 2024 remain upbeat, despite moderating with a net balance of plus 9.8% as against plus 13.9% recorded previously, with all sectors register positively except the wholesale and retail trade. Now, Bursa Malaysia is projected to continue trading in range-bound mode with an upward bias next week as investors continue to seek new catalysts amid heightening global market volatility. Rakuten Trade Equity Research Vice President Tong Pak Leng said the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI or FBM KLCI may see an additional upward potential if the key index manages to surpass the 1,465 resistance line. Now, Tong noted that global market players will be monitoring the latest developments in China's real estate market to understand global risk appetite. Meanwhile, another dealer noted that investors will be closely monitoring the U.S. gross domestic product, or the GDP, for the third quarter, or Q3 2023, due to be released in the upcoming midweek. Additionally, market players will also shift their attention to the U.S. ISM manufacturing data and Federal Reserve's Chair Jerome Powell's speech tentatively next Friday. Now, Bursa Malaysia ended the week with a higher weekly turnover of 17.06 billion units, valued at 10.28 billion ringgit, versus 13.78 billion units, valued at 7.93 billion ringgit in the preceding week. The main market volume expanded to 11.68 billion shares worth 8.8 billion against 8.93 billion shares worth 6.8 billion ringgit in the previous week. Now, market players and participants must avoid contributing to the downward pressure on the ringgit and instead should stay composed and play a stabilizing role in riding out the current highly dynamic situation. Bank Negara Malaysia, or BNM Deputy Governor Adnan Zailani, recently said the central bank closely watches market and public sentiment, realizing how sentiment can also drive traders' quoting and pricing of the US dollar to ringgit pair and the market flows and the public's behavior. Now, Adnan, who stressed that the movements of the ringgit exchange rate in recent times have not been a fair reflection of Malaysia's economic fundamentals, called on market players to be prepared to play their role. He said all parties have to recognize that individual actions could also be contributing to the short-term downward pressure on the ringgit. Accordingly, market players should advise their clients to manage their foreign exchange or forex exposures appropriately to ensure that the financial market activities do not become an amplifier of risks to the economy. While Malaysia is neither in any crisis nor any financial or economic stress, the central bank remains vigilant. Adnan said there is a need to be prepared as the anticipated change in global monetary tightening stances, in particular in the United States, is not a done deal given the continued presence of inflation risks. Now, the ringgit is expected to trade range-bound ahead of the next set of Tier 1 United States or US economic data next Friday, of which the key US non-farm payroll, or the NFP, will be released. SPI Asset Management Managing Director Stephen In said the data print will be very important for forex markets as it could determine how soon the US Federal Reserve would cut interest rates if it comes in below expectations. Nevertheless, he said if any hawkish surprise in the US NFP data takes place, the local note could continue to appreciate, but it all depends on the US economic data. Kerana Investment Bank Berhad, in a research note, said the ringgit might oscillate between gains and losses due to the absence of pro-ringgit catalysts. The research firm also said that any indications of recovery might positively impact the ringgit. Now, for the week just ended, the local note traded mixed after the US Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, minutes of its last meeting showed that the American Central Bank will remain cautious in its approach to monetary policy. Now, high palm oil inventories in Malaysia and Indonesia will continue to put price pressure on the crude palm oil, or CPO, futures on Bursa Malaysia derivatives next week. Interbank Group of Companies senior palm oil trader Jim Tay said demand for the commodity is very low due to palm oil producers' significant CPO stocks. He said Malaysia's palm oil stocks stood at around 2.4 million metric tons as at end of October, while Indonesia stood at around 5 million metric tons, and the CPO stock surplus is pressuring prices. He added that the support level for CPO is at 3,500 ringgit per ton, while resistance is at 3,600 ringgit per ton. Now, on the anticipated increase in China's palm oil imports, he said the news impact is primarily neutral due to the excess in inventories. For the week just ended, the local CPO market traded mixed in tandem with the regional commodity market, soybean oil prices on the Chicago Board of Trade, and fluctuations in crude oil prices. On a weekly basis, December 2023 was down 27 ringgit to 3,782 ringgit per ton, while January 2024 and February 2024 both erased 41 ringgit each to 3,850 per ton and 3,909 ringgit per ton, respectively. The physical CPO price for December, meanwhile, south-edged down to 3,800 ringgit per ton on Friday from 3,820 ringgit per ton a week earlier. Now, growth in demand for electricity fueled Tenaga Nasional Berhad, or TNB's top-line expansion. But earnings were lower for the third quarter and the 30th of September, or Q3 23, due to lower imbalance cost pass-through, or the ICPT, during the period. ICPT is a mechanism that allows TNB to reflect changes, either increases or reductions in fuel and other power generation-related costs in the electricity tariff every 6 months. The Power Utilities Exchange filing states revenue for the period hit 13.47 billion ringgit as power demand grew by 3.9% year-on-year or 496.2 million ringgit. Operating profit for the quarter, however, decreased by 30.5% or 888 million ringgit due to the lower ICPT of 2 billion ringgit recognized in the quarter compared with 6.1 billion ringgit in the last corresponding quarter, offset by lower operating expenses of 2.68 billion ringgit, the company notes. The net profit for the period dropped by 4% year-on-year to 856.3 million ringgit, or earnings per share of 14.85 cent due to negative fuel margins and cushioned by lower tax expenses and foreign exchange gains. The quarter-on-quarter earnings, meanwhile, rose by 606.5 million ringgit compared with 270.9 million ringgit net profit in the preceding quarter, an increase of 606.5 million ringgit. Now, this was mainly due to foreign exchange gains and net reversals on impairments of financial instruments. China, Japan and South Korea seek to boost three-way ties. That and more coming up in our foreign segment. Now, the foreign ministers of China, Japan and South Korea met in the port city of Busan, seeking to restart cooperation among the Asian neighbours and pave the way for a summit of their three leaders. Even as China and the United States mend frayed ties, including a summit this month of their leaders Xi Jinping and Joe Biden, Beijing is concerned that Washington and its key regional allies are strengthening their three-way partnership. Beijing, Seoul and Tokyo had agreed on annual summits from 2008 to bolster diplomatic and economic exchanges. But two-way rows and the COVID-19 pandemic interrupted the plan, with the three leaders last meeting in 2019. The three top diplomats met in Busan for their first such meeting since 2019, after officials of the three countries had agreed in September to arrange a trilateral summit at the earliest convenient time. South Korean Foreign Minister Park Jin said he hoped to hold in-depth discussions on North Korean issues, seeking a practical outcome on issues such as people-to-people exchanges, climate change and trade and economy. He added that the officials would work to ensure the summit of the leaders of the three nations was held as soon as possible. And that's a wrap for Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, Principality of Monaco affirms stronger ties with new consulate office. Stay tuned to World Today, coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on TV2. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching.